Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Subhanaka Allahumma la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'd. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد رسول الله وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار عياذا بالله. أسأل الله أن يجعل اجتماعنا هذا اجتماعا مرحوما وتفرقنا بعده تفرقا معصوما وألا يجعل فينا شقيا ولا محروما آمين. إخوة الإيمان, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praises be to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the world. We beseech His blessings and mercy upon Nabiullah Muhammad al-Mustafa, upon his household, his companions, and all those that tread his path till the day of resurrection, the day of reckoning. Alhamdulillah, it's another episode of lessons from Suratu Yusuf, which happens to be the 21st episode in this year's online tafsir, which coincides with the 27th day of Ramadan, 1441 years after the hijrah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, which in turn coincides with the 28th day of the 5th month 2020 according to the Gregorian calendar. Now, we are approaching the end of Ramadan. We are approaching the end of our series too, inshallah. This series will be ending on the 29th day of Ramadan, which will be Friday, God willing. May Allah preserve our lives till then and beyond. We stopped at where the one that happened to be saved from the prison was told by Nabiullah Yusuf to remember him when he gets to the king, which Shaitan prevented him from remembering, thinking he was preventing Nabiullah Yusuf from being saved from the prison. But not knowing Allah was keeping Nabiullah Yusuf till the best time for him to be saved. So the king also had a dream. When the king dreamt, he called his chiefs, he called his people, his notable ones, his close associates. He told them to explain the dream to him, if truly they could interpret dreams. And he told them the dream he had was that he saw in his dream 7 fat cows which were being swallowed. Those 7 fat cows were being swallowed by another 7 lean cows. And he saw 7 green ears of corn and 7 others dry. 7 ears of corn, those ones green, fresh, and he saw 7 others very dry. So that was the dream which which is sought interpretation over. And they quickly told him that, oh no, this is adghathu ahlam, mixed up false dreams. We are not skilled in interpretation of dreams. That is, even if your dreams are not, your dream isn't mixed up with false dreams, we can't even interpret it, let alone you having adghathu ahlam, mixed up false dreams like this. They are too cumbersome for us to interpret. At that point, وَقَالَ الَّذِي نَجَى مِنْهُمَا, the one that was released, this is confirming to us that the one Nabiullah Yusuf told that would be released and would become the distiller of the king ended up being released, and the other one was killed, was crucified, as Nabiullah Yusuf explained to him and interpreted. And he already told them that it is قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ الَّذِي فِيهِ تَسْتَفْتِيَانِ, that is أَمْرًا مَقْضِيًّا. It's an issue that's already decided and executed. That is qada. I once told us qada is the execution of the qadar of Allah. So when you say an issue is amran maqdiya, then it is not just qadar anymore. It's already executed. It's already put into execution. That is qada. So qada is an advanced level of the qadar. So but that doesn't mean that it's not qadar. It was initially qadar before the execution. Like it said that the night of majesty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will attach issues. فِيهَا يُفْرَقُ كُلُّ أَمْرٍ حَكِيمٍ. Issues would be attached to occurrences. So changing from qadar to qadar. They were initially qadar. So at that point, you call upon Allah to change it for you, or to establish goodness for you, take off evils from you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can change it with your dua and your righteous deeds. When it becomes qada, an executed matter, then it is beyond anybody's control. It is beyond, it's already an executed matter. And that is why there are precautions for us. When Malakul Jibril also visited Maryam, when he told Maryam that you would get pregnant, and she said, how would she get pregnant when no man touched her? And he told her that قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين ولنجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا. The same word. He said وكان أمرا مقضيا. This is an issue that has been executed by Allah. It's already executed. That is, as you are seated right there, you are already pregnant. That's the meaning. Amran maqdiya, as you are right there, you don't just know, you are already pregnant. It's already executed. That's qada. That's qada of Allah. So that one that got saved from the prison, that couldn't remember the situation of Nabiullah Yusuf after some years, now remembered Nabiullah Yusuf at that point when the king needed someone to interpret his dreams. He now remembered, oh, I left somebody in the prison that was the one that even interpreted mine for me when I was in the prison. Oh, he should be able to do this. At that point, he remembered Nabiullah Yusuf. He now said, Ana unabbiukum bita'wilihi farsiluni. I will tell you its interpretation, meaning that it didn't mean that he will be the one to give the interpretation. Actually, he now said, "For arsiluni, send me forth." That is, send me to the prison to meet Yusuf, the man of truth. So they sent him, and he said to Yusuf, Allah did not record that in the Quran, telling us how he told them that, okay, send me to Yusuf or thereabout. He said, "For arsiluni, just send me forth." The next thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us is that Yusufu, he was already with Yusuf. He said, "Oh Yusuf, are you a Siddiqu?" Just like as if we are watching what's it called? A film, a movie. We are seeing a movie where someone is just talking to another person as he's trying to say something, then they bring that statement for us as a different scene. So rather than he speaking out, then that scene tells us what he told the other person. So which was Allah Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has documented a whole lot of wisdom, a whole lot of knowledge right in the Quran. Who knew films or movies at this time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recorded this, and look at how it goes in as if we are just we sit down seeing a movie. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, he said, "Farsiluni, send me forth." To who? Then he was already at Yusuf's place. He say saying, "Yusuf, are you a Siddiqu?" So that's why interpreters and those interpreting the Quran, scholars of tafsir, said what he told them was that, "Send me to Yusuf, the man of truth." So when he got to Yusuf too, he called him, "Yusufu, are you a Siddiqu?" "Oh Yusuf, the man of truth. Aftina fi sab'i baqaratin simanin يأكلهن سبع عجاف وسبع سنبلات خضر وأخرى يابسات لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون." He now explained the dream of the king to Yusuf, that they explained to us the explanation regarding 7 cows being seen devouring 7 fat cows being devoured by 7 lean cows, and seeing 7 ears of green corn, very fresh, and another 7 ears of dry corn. Please, Yusuf, tell me about this. لَعَلِّي أَرْجِعُ إِلَى النَّاسِ, so that I can return back to the people. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ, for them to be aware, they may know of the meaning of this. Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salam, alayhi salatu wassalam, being a nice man, a righteous man, a good doer, in fact the man of truth as he was called and documented in the Quran right in this verse, he did not criticize him. He did not criticize that distiller, that, "Oh, it is now you remember me. Now you need me, you remember that there is a Yusuf or there is someone in the prison. No, I wouldn't attend to you, just go back. So you only know me when you need me." He didn't turn the offer. He didn't turn down the offer. He didn't say, no. I'm being imprisoned right here for an injustice, something I knew nothing of, something I'm not guilty of, I'm innocent, and you want me to interpret this for the people. Then they should free me first. He didn't use that as a bargain for his freedom. Rather, he did what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him to do. So that's one of the signs of righteous people. They don't take advantages of issues. taking an advantage to enrich themselves, taking an advantage of a simple situation. Oh, Alhamdulillah, now I have something to enrich myself. No, they don't do that. They do it lillahi wa rasulihi, for the sake of Allah and according to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He now explained. So he didn't give any precondition, I'll collect money. He just explained. He said, قَالَ تَزْرَعُونَ سَبْعَ سِنِينَ دَأَبًا فَمَا حَصَدتُّمْ فَذَرُوهُ فِي سُنبُلِهِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِمَّا تَأْكُلُونَ. He said, for 7 consecutive years, the meaning is this: for 7 consecutive years, you shall sow as usual, and you will reap them. You will reap what you have sown, and leave them in their ears, except the little you would like to eat. إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِمَّا تَأْكُلُونَ. Except the little you would like to eat from it. Which was trying to tell them that whatever you harvest during those 7 fertile years, during those 7 fertile years, you should leave them in their ears. In fact, the plain interpretation, firstly, before telling them what to do, he made them understand that actually there would be 7 consecutive fertile years. There will be fertility of the land and usual amount of rain for 7 consecutive years. So he interpreted those fat cows to be production of fruits, vegetables, and so on, because fat cows are being used to tilt the land. So he interpreted them, those 7 fat cows, to be that. Then the 7 lean cows, he interpreted those ones as 7 consecutive years where there will be drought and famine. There will be drought and famine, and there will be nothing you plant in those 7 consecutive years of drought and famine that will sow, that would grow. Nothing will grow. No matter what you put into the soil, it will never grow in those ones. So he now told them that whatever you reap from what you have sown in the first consecutive 7 years, you should keep them, leave them in their ears. Fi sumbulihi, leave them in their ears so that they can remain fresh, except the little you want to eat at that period. So you should ensure that there should be no extravagance, no overeating, overuse of what you have harvested, because you need them in the future. You should use only the ones that will be useful for you. Only what you need is what you should make use of at that time, because this is just making us understand. One of the things it's trying to make us understand is during trying times, you make preparation for tomorrow, like the time we find ourselves now, where incomes are being reduced. In fact, some having no income at all, having only few things, some no salary, some half salary, some 1/3 of their salaries, and so on. Times like this, you require to save for tomorrow. You need to cut down expenses, cut down extravagant spendings that are not really usual. You cut them off. That are not really important. You cut them off. Then you focus on the things you really need at the best time, and those things you need to can be placed on priority. That is drawing a scale of preference. After drawing scale of preference of what is needed, then you have what we call the alternative foregone. So make the best choices at this time. Not, oh, I think I would like to buy some expensive shoes and clothing and so on. focus more on survival. That's the interpretation. Focus more on survival, and which is best useful at this time. We need to focus more on survival of ourselves, survival of our families, survival of our neighbors and close associates. Those you know and you don't know, you need to invest in ensuring their survival. Your success in this kind of period is how much have you been able to survive it. It's not how much have you been able to invest. It is how much have you been able to survive in these times. And do not focus on yourselves alone. Spending on people around you is not extravagance in this kind of situation. Spending on your neighbors, in fact, the Prophet ﷺ said, Angel Jibril, Malakul Jibril, kept coming to me, telling me about the rights of neighbors, till I felt that, oh no, maybe neighbors will be part of my heirs, those that would inherit my property after I leave, after I'm dead, because of the way he kept reminding me of the rights of neighbors. So neighbors have rights over you, and you need to also see to their welfare, see to their well-being at all times. If I take care of my neighbors, you take care of yours, and everyone take care of their respective neighbors. I think people would be in good conditions. And I would seize this opportunity to talk to most of our masajid that are having one kind of fund or the other in our custody. Keeping funds in banks for projects, for one thing or the other. Investing in people right now is better than any physical project. Trying to build masjid, trying to build this or that. Invest in people. It is the existence of people that determines the masjid. Masjid is only a building. If there are no people to use the masjid, then the building is useless. We need to at this time prioritize. We don't need to keep waiting for the government to come feed us. If the imams of various localities look inwardly into their coffers, into their purse, into their accounts, and see how they can assist the needy, assist them sincerely, ensure that the survival is maintained and kept, then later we can come together to generate other funds to establish our physical project. This is very important at this time. We've been getting funds or donations from people, and this is the time we need to see, look into the survival and well-being of people. May Allah make it easy. Do not forget, imams are also they are ra'i, as the Prophet ﷺ called them. You are responsible for your subjects, and Allah will ask you regarding them. Do not prioritize projects, buildings, and so on to survival of human beings, survival of lives. May Allah be with every one of us. So, coming back to the issue of the Nabiullah Yusuf, he explained this to them, that this would be their situation. That's what it means, that they need to prepare for the Maruf. 7 consecutive years would come. There will be a lot of rainfall, a lot of harvest. They should keep those things in their ears, keep them, they remain fresh. They only pick the little they need at that time, keeping for the 7 consecutive years that will come after that there will be no rainfall, there will be drought, there will be famine, there's nothing you plant that would grow. So he said, ثُمَّ يَأْتِ مِنْ بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ عَامٌ فِيهِ يُغَاثُ النَّاسِ وَفِيهِ يَعْصِرُونَ. He said, then thereafter will come a year in which people will have abundant rain, in which they would press wine and oil. So he explained this to people. He now said, the distiller went back to inform the king regarding what he has said. And what did the king say? The king said, وَقَالَ الْمَلِكُ ائْتُونِي بِهِ. the king said, bring him to me. Tuni bihi, bring him to me. فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ الرَّسُولُ, when the man came back, that messenger, which happens to be the distiller, coming back to give Nabiullah Yusuf that good news that, oh, the king is interested in you. Now you've been released, you've been freed. The king wants to see you, actually one-on-one. He wants to have a direct communication with you, because the king he felt sure that what Nabiullah Yusuf told him about the interpretation of his dream was true, and he realized the virtue of Nabiullah Yusuf, recognized his knowledge and interpretation of dreams, and valued his good conduct with the subject in the country. So he sent for Nabiullah Yusuf, and when the Bashir, the glad tidal, the person that came with glad tidings, when he came to meet the king, to meet Yusuf, to give him, he felt he was giving him glad tidings actually. And what did Nabiullah Yusuf say? He said, Irji' ila Rabb, return back to your king, return back to your Lord, return back to him and ask him. I'm not interested in being released from prison simply because of the favor I did to him. No. Or simply because of the interpretation of dreams. No. I want to be released based on my innocence. It should be confirmed that I am innocent. He said, فَاسْأَلُهُ, ask him, مَا بَالُ النِّسْوَةِ اللَّاتِي قَطَّعْنَ أَيْدِيَهُمْ. What is the situation? Ask him about the situation of those people. What happened to those women who were cutting their hands? That is during that banquet. You remember? So, allati qatta'na aydiyahunna, that were cutting their hands. He should ask the king, what happened to those people? Has that case been decided? Have you looked into that issue? Inna rabbi bikaydihinna alim. Because surely my own God, my Lord, my protector, my sustainer, my provider is aware of everything they plotted against me. So go back to the king and inquire this from him. So Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam showcased an exemplary character right in there. He refused to leave the prison until the king and his subjects declare his innocence and the integrity of his honor, denouncing the false accusation that the wife of the Aziz made against him. He wanted them to know that sending him to prison was an act of injustice and aggression, not that he committed any offense that he warranted at any time. He didn't commit any offense to warrant being sent to the prison. How many of us stand for integrity today? We forget about integrity because of what we want to eat, because of this opening, the mouth, because of your belly. You have forgotten about your integrity. Integrity is missing today. People do not care whatever name they are being called. People do not care whatever way they drag their names in the mud, as long as they get money. As long as money comes, as long as position comes, as long as different things come their way, they aren't interested in whatever name you give to them. Not knowing that actually having a good name, having a good honor, being someone of high virtue is highly meritorious. In fact, Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam praised and eulogized Nabiullah Yusuf regarding this special virtue, this special character is showcased. This is recorded in the two Sahih, and the Musnad also recorded this. narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, quoting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as saying that نحن أحق بالشك من إبراهيم إذ قال رب أرني كيف تحيي الموتى. That who would have been more in doubt than Nabiullah Ibrahim when he said, "Oh my God, show me how you raise the dead, how you give life to the dead. Show me that." We do not blame Nabiullah Ibrahim for that. In fact, he happens to be better. That's what the Prophet is trying to say. Nabiullah Ibrahim is better because he would have been in more doubt than he was, if not that he asked Allah and got that explanation that gave us certainty today, that's giving us certainty that we are relying on. If Nabiullah Ibrahim hadn't gotten that certainty, we would have been more in doubt than he was. And he said, وَيَرْحَمُ اللَّهُ لُوطًا, may Allah be merciful to Nabiullah Lut. لَقَدْ كَانَ يَأْوِي إِلَى رُكْنٍ شَدِيدٍ. At that point where he became helpless, he became powerless, that he wished, he hoped that he got a special power at that moment to deal with those people, those his enemies that wanted to disgrace him before his guests, his visitors. He never knew at that point that his visitors weren't just any visitors, they were messengers of Allah, that is angels of God. Also, he now said, وَلَوْ لَبِثْتُ فِي السِّجْنِ مَا لَبِثَ يُوسُفُ لَعَجَبْتُ الدَّاعِيَةِ. Had it been, I was the one in prison for as long as the time, Nabiullah Muhammad speaking now, had it been I was the one in the prison for as long as the time Nabiullah Yusuf remained in the prison, he said, believe you me, I would have accepted that offer of the king that I should be released, rather than waiting for clarification of why I got there. The Prophet ﷺ said I would have accepted the offer, meaning that I will accept the offer first. After getting out, then I will get there to go and clarify my situation of my innocence, rather than still remaining in the prison because it could change his mind. Wallahu a'lam. And also, it's reported in Musnad of Imam Ahmad too, from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about Nabiullah Yusuf that فَاسْأَلُهُ مَا بَالُ النِّسْوَةِ اللَّاتِي قَطَّعْنَا أَيْدِيَهُنَّ إِنَّ رَبِّي بِكَيْدِهِنَّ عَلِيمٌ. He said that when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was commenting on this, he said, لَوْ كُنْتُ أَنَا, had it been it was me, had it been it was me, لَا صَرَعْتُ الْإِجَابَةَ وَمَا ابْتَغَيْتُ الْعُذْرَ. I would have accepted the offer rather than await my exoneration first. I would have accepted the offer. This is not, do not misunderstand the message right in there. The Prophet ﷺ was not rebuking Nabiullah Yusuf. Rather, he was praising him that, oh, what kind of special virtue, what kind of honor Allah has granted you. So unique person. You have given us an exemplary way of life. You are a role model that we can emulate, because had it been we happen to be in your shoes, would have not done up to what you did, but you have shown us a very good way of life, a very good step we could take, and you are worthy of emulation. That's what the Prophet ﷺ is trying to make us know regarding Nabiullah Yusuf. We'll leave it right there today, inshallah. We'll continue next episode tomorrow, inshallah. But before we go, we'll quickly answer the questions available right here. May Allah grant us the special virtues right in Nabiullah Yusuf. He is really worthy of emulation. May Allah grant us the special virtues right in him, and even grant us more. Innahu waliyyu dhalika wal qadiru alayhi wa innahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. Amin. Now, questions. A questioner asked that is it good for a brother to be discussing about his wife when he's with the second wife or his second wife to be, especially the sexual relationship and others too? Firstly, apart from being with one's wife, Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa wala. Apart from the issue of one's wife, Islam does not permit us to discuss our intimate issues with our wives with the people, the public. Islam does not permit us. In fact, the Prophet ﷺ made us understand that Allah hates such a person, that he will be intimate with his wife in the night, and will go explaining the responses of his wife, the way the woman was responding, the way she sounded, all those things like that to people, and so on. This is not allowed in Islam. It is highly unrecommended, and it's a sin in Islam. You don't explain this to people. That is explaining the act. That is what it means. Explaining the act. Not if there is a reason for you to mention that, okay, I was intimate with her. Yes, situations may warrant that. We've seen that in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Take a look at the situation of Sulaim and Abu Talha, her husband, when he lost a child, that Sulaim refused to inform. The husband was on a journey at that time. She didn't. When the husband, before the husband arrived, she had already told the neighbors not to say anything to her husband. She would explain to him and open the news up to him when he returns. And when he came back from the journey, he knew the boy was sick before he went for a journey. So when he came back, Sulaim had already prepared very good food. She presented the food to him. A food he loved so much. He ate the food, enjoying it. She prepared herself too, that he enjoyed her too. It was after they were intimate, she now told him that, imagine a situation. What if someone in the neighborhood lends you something and comes around to say, I need my thing back? Would it be good for the borrower to refuse to give back to the lender? Abu Talha said, no, that is wrong. You have to return it back to the lender. It's not yours. He said, okay, that is our situation. Allah decided to collect what he has given us. Allah has taken our son, and he was dazed. He was mad at her immediately. So my son died, you made me eat a very good food. My son died, you made me touch you. So he went straight to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to report the situation, and the Prophet asked him, did you touch her? He said, yes, I did. And the Prophet said, okay, may Allah bless that intimacy of yours. And she got pregnant out of that intimacy. So what I want to bring out from there is there are situations where you may need to mention that you were intimate, but that's what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam condemned is you explaining the context of the what's it called, intimacy, how it happened, all those things. This is not allowed in Islam. So now your second wife, you have a second wife telling a second wife how you were intimate with the first wife. It's not allowed. She may get to know, yes, that you touched the first wife. In fact, Nana Aisha do make inquiries sometimes when she didn't see the Prophet. There was a time the Prophet left her room. She felt the Prophet went to the other wife's room. When the Prophet came back to her room, you know what the first thing she did? She used her fingers to pass through the hair of the Prophet. What was she trying to feel? She was trying to feel if the hair was wet. Maybe the Prophet ﷺ had taken ghusl janaba. So if he had taken that, it means he had gone to another wife. So she may get to know, but you explaining the intimacy isn't allowed. Allah. Someone that is a wife to be, in fact, that one is you have is not yet a wife, so you cannot be discussing such intimacy. She's like an outsider. An outsider, I've said it that Islam does not permit it. Wallahu a'lam. And We said it in one of our previous episodes that when you are with a wife, treat her as though she's the only wife. Even if you have some other ones, you have multiple of them in the light of Al-Islam, maybe 4 or 3 or 2. If you are with one, treat her as though she is the only one. Do not start increasing the mention of other one, the way you love the other one, the way you like being intimate with that one. Oh, you always enjoy sexual relations. All those things, you are giving room for hasad. We discussed this during our the discussion of hasad in this Ramadan series. Treat her as though she's the only wife. If issues are being raised, like you have oil, for example, dropping on your clothes, and you just left, it was the turn of the other woman, you left her room, and you have oil, and the wife is saying, oh, how can you eat a food, and they noticed oil on your clothes, and they couldn't take care of it, just laugh about it without passing a comment, because it could happen to anybody. If she feels it's not meant to be there, she should clean it up. You don't need to start saying, hey, don't mind that she doesn't know what to do. No. You don't rebuke a wife in the presence of another wife in such manner, except if you are trying to settle scores in between them, and settling scores also require a very big wisdom, as the Prophet ﷺ has showcased to us in different situations. May Allah guide us aright and grant us the best wisdom to handle our wives. The last question for today, it said, the question says, can a sister discuss oral sex on phone with her husband to be? What I even know, firstly, of oral sex are not cannot be carried out even through phone. But if it's just discussing for them to enjoy each other, if that is what is meant, then it is not allowed, because they are not legal to each other. You said wife to be, this is not allowed in Islam. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam taslima. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka